What's up, wrestling fans? That was really weird. I don't know why I did that. What's up, wrestling fans? A lot of different news happened today. It's kind of friggin' a wild day. I mean, AJ Styles got robbed. It's funny. Some places said like AJ Styles got robbed, almost like he got robbed like right there at the show. But then it seems like his house got robbed. But then there's no details on it, so I really don't know what happened. But I know that he lost like an Xbox in like 7 games or something and $1,000. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, he could have been raped. So, I mean, you know, what's an Xbox and $1,000 to AJ Styles? But I'd like to find the person that did steal from him, choke him out, and stab him in the ass with a dildo. One of the bigger stories of the day was this WWE removes Kenny Omega's comment by Seth Rollins. Or rather, the Kenny Omega comment by Seth Rollins. They asked superstars who they wanted to see in the Royal Rumble. Seth Rollins said Kenny Omega, and everyone was like, that was like making the rounds on Twitter, like it was going around everywhere. People were like, "Did you see what Seth Rollins said about Kenny Omega, Joe?" And then all of a sudden, like I think 20 minutes later, they were like, "Oh, they removed it. They friggin' edited it." So it got edited out, and it's not there anymore. So I can't figure out if it made the segment, and then WWE was like, "Whoa, we got to take this down." Or if WWE wanted it to be there for a second and then take it down. Or if WWE was like, well, people are going to think that Kenny Omega's coming and he's not coming, so we got to take this down before we have another Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble incident. Because imagine if people kept thinking like, oh, Kenny Omega's going to be here. Holy shit, Kenny Omega's going to be there. The name dropping Kenny Omega. And then number 30 comes out and everybody boos again. That could happen. So I could see WWE being freaked out like, we got to get that out of there. Kenny Omega's not coming to the Rumble. But we can't have Seth Rollins saying he wants to see him there because that will get everybody talking and their expectations and it will fuck up the show. So I believe that's the real reason they took it down, which tells me Kenny Omega is definitely not coming. If Kenny Omega was coming, or maybe Seth Rollins didn't know Kenny Omega was coming and he is, and they were like, we got to get that down. But it's already on social media and people have already figured it out, so I don't know. And if it is, I feel like Seth Rollins would be in some trouble or something. So I really don't understand what's going on, but I believe Kenny Omega won't be coming at all because otherwise, why? If he wasn't coming, I guess if he wasn't coming, wouldn't you just leave it up there and who gives a shit? But then, if he's not coming and people think he's coming, they get mad. So you would want to take it down, but you'd want to take it down because he is not coming. So take it. It's a fucking goddamn paradox or something. It's freaking me out. But I believe he's not coming.
Which is just bad gym etiquette. Mentioned what you said about the headphones as well.
X-Pac is in disbelief about this fan that tried to go up to Randy Orton and, you know, be friends with him. And, well, poor Randy Orton is just trying to fucking do his workout. Essentially, Randy Orton is working. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody, I mean, I'm sure he goes to the gym like every other day. It's like work. I mean, you put on headphones, you listen to music, but you know you got to get these reps in. And then there's just some dude like trying to masturbate on you while you're in the gym. And so X-Pac gets a little bit of hot about it, says, go fuck yourself, basically. And it's pretty funny stuff. But I enjoyed listening to it. Let's see, we get this full thing out here.
Yeah. And generally, like, you don't pay the bills. There's a whole lot. It's a very long.
It's on X-Pac show, by the way. X-Pac 12360. They really need to get some new fucking microphones on this show, but whatever. And they're missing me, but
paper. I recommend people read it.
Let me explain something to you as far as that. My take on that whole.
He wants to swear so bad.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
There goes the whole,
I think we threw that out the window for this one.
Your emotion is good in this
Okay.
situation.
This is just my feelings.
He's so mad right now.
I am so grateful for every one of you out there. So grateful.
He's honest too.
For your support and coming out, or even if you can't afford, a ticket or couldn't, throughout the years, but just invested your time into watching us. That even makes a difference. That moves the ratings up and, puts more money in our pockets. And yes, so grateful. But on the flip side of that, we go out there and destroy our bodies, okay? And it's not just, it's not just for the fans, although it's a huge part of it. There's there's the glory and, and just all of the other things that come along with it. But it's a fair trade.
Basically what Xbox about to say here, because I don't want to play too much of their shit, but you can go check it out on their channel. I mean, you don't own Randy Orton because you maybe bought a couple of T-shirts, you watched him for 10 years, you masturbated to pics of him, I don't know. You don't own Randy fucking Orton. In the end, he didn't owe you anything at that point. He was working out in the gym. Is he a cool guy if he goes... I think he fist bumped the guy, too. I mean, I would be like, hey, what's up, Randy? You know, I mean, I would see him working. I would probably... I don't even know if I would say anything to him. I'd just be like, damn, Randy Orton's working out here. What the fuck? That's awesome. And then I'd probably work out. Maybe I'd, look over a couple times and be like, what's Randy doing, Maybe try to, at some point, But you can't just sit there, like, staring at him the whole time. I mean, that's just rude. I mean, like... Even though you want to, most people wouldn't, because they would be like, common decency would be like, you would feel embarrassed for yourself to be a loser, to sit over there just be like, I wouldn't want to take a photo of him either, because I'd be afraid of fucking, it's weird, like, oh, let me take a photo. If you're an actual human being, maybe you hold up your phone like, hey, want to take a photo, Randy? And maybe he'd be like, no, I'm working out. And that's it. Nah, I'm working out. Okay. All right, cool, Randy. He gave you a fist bump. Then go do whatever you were supposed to be doing. He's just not obligated to stop and be like, yes, okay, get over here, let's take some. I mean, even a person who loves doing that, like, all the time, at some point is going to be like, I fucking have to do this. Like, no. Yeah. So, I mean, like, yeah. Finn's talking back to me. So, you don't own Randy Orton. And the cell phone thing was fucked up. I mean, if you're going to take a cell phone picture, you got to do some major subterfuge. What would be even funnier if the guy took a video of himself working out, like, talking to the camera, like, hey, guys, daily vlog 7, this is me lifting, but in the background he had Orton on purpose, so he could, like, play it off that he was vlogging or something. But, I don't know. That would probably be douchey as well, but I don't know. Leave the fucking people alone, man. Especially Randy Orton, man. You don't fuck with Orton. He will beat the shit out of you, man. He will call your ass out and butt fuck you. He's got some anger issues, man. And he probably, I'll tell you what, maybe 8 years ago, probably would have he might have thrown a nutty on this guy like you wouldn't believe. At the People's Choice Awards, they had to cut away from The Rock because he gave the middle finger. I think to me, it seemed like they were just cutting away anyway. But I don't know. And screw it. It was Kevin Hart up on stage saying he thanks everybody but The Rock, and then The Rock was clapping and laughing, and then he gave the finger. I mean, you had to know he was going to be on camera, but I guess he's The Rock. He can do whatever he wants. The Rock can get away with anything. If this was a white guy, he'd be in jail. Let me tell you something. Be quiet, Finn. My kid is screaming. We're going to go upstairs, Finn. I promise you. Look at The Rock. Look at his bald, sexy head. God damn, I love The Rock. The Rock should just run for president. The Rock runs for president, we're all set. I'll tell you what, it will never, if Donald Trump, if things start to go the way they seem like they're going with Donald Trump already, it will never be any better time for The Rock to run for president. He will instantly become president if The Rock runs for president after Donald Trump. I guarantee you The Rock gets elected. I think The Rock would run as Republican, though. I believe The Rock... Isn't The Rock Republican? So, I don't know. But if... I don't want to make assumptions, but I think he is. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's Democratic. I'm thinking he's Republican because years ago The Rock was at the Republican debate, but I don't know if he was sent there randomly. I have no idea. People are going to say, wow, Joe, you used one of the worst pictures of Ryback you could have. Yeah, I'm going to use the worst picture of Ryback I can because he's a piece of shit. Oh, Joe, why is he a piece of shit? Well, he blocked me on Twitter. He refused to do our show. We tried to get the real word out of him, what really happened, why were you so held down? Like, we were all infuriated by your character at some point, what's the real story? He wouldn't give it to us. Basically said this show was for morons, but then goes and does people's podcasts that suck ass. So, you know what, Ryback? I'm going to put up the ugliest photo I can of you. You look like a retarded gorilla. So he goes on to say in this interview here about McMahon being disgusted with him, I guess, just like everybody else who comes in contact with him. So life isn't fair. I've said Vince created the world, and it's his right to do what he wants to do in the end of the day. That made it very easy for me to leave and go ahead and create my own world. Start from the bottom and work my way back up again. I don't agree with the way he did things, and I tried many times to communicate and express myself to him. When you're being told lies over and over again. Why you gotta keep talking? I'm talking. What's wrong with you? He's talking because I'm talking. When you're being told lies over and over again, eventually you just kind of... Why are you doing this? I'm trying to talk about Fat Ryback and his bald egghead. You got a bald egghead too. All right, we'll see if Finn keeps the screaming stuff in the background. When you're being told over and over again, eventually you just kind of check out. This is the crazy part. When you're being told lies over and over again, eventually you just kind of check out. It's a very discouraging and unsettling feeling. I remember being at the last WrestleMania, and the contact staff was already at a very... God damn it. Okay, let's try this again. I remember being at this last WrestleMania, and I think it's supposed to say the contract stuff was already at a negative point. It says contact stuff. So the fucking article they wrote the article, they misspelled the word. Okay, so the misspelling has been throwing me off for the last 3 attempts at reading this, but let's try again now. Contract stuff was already at a very negative point. Vince left gorilla position. He couldn't even stand there and watch my match. By the way, I think I remember this match actually being pretty decent. We all were like, wow, I'm surprised it was all right. Didn't we all say that? Anyway, what else did he say? He couldn't even stand there and watch my match. Then he walked by with this look of disgust on his face. And I remember thinking, this company fucking sucks. This job sucks. And this is the worst day of my life. This was all on WrestleMania. And I thought it really shouldn't be this way. Wow. Ryback thinking the company fucking sucks. Vince McMahon give him a disgusted look. Well, you know what, Ryback? I'm giving you that same fucking look now. Because you should have came on my show. And you should have came on JD's show. And we would have told you about the Get Off My TV t-shirt. We would have told you what we were thinking. And you could have told us all the ways you were held down and why it didn't work out. We would have all gotten this stuff out there. We would have gotten whatever your company is going to be, whatever your names are, wherever your bookings are. But you missed out on over 100,000 subscribers because you're a fucking dumbass egghead. Yes, I hold grudges. Suck it. Well, that's pretty much everything as far as Ryback goes. But now let's shift gears over to TNA and Drew Galloway becoming the new Grand Champion. Drew Galloway, the new freaking Grand Champion. I think that's awesome because I love the hell out of Drew Galloway. Somehow Drew Galloway figured out my Twitter change and he followed me again, so shout out to him. We talked the other day real quick on Twitter, and I remember seeing Drew Galloway the first time in WWE before he had actually been on television when he was doing dark matches. And yeah, we were talking about wrestling in South Shore Music Circus in Massachusetts, and I brought it up to him because it's kind of a really unique area. And he remembered it, and he was like, probably against Ricky Steamboat. And I remember it was Ricky Steamboat. Me and Leo had front row tickets, and I was pumped because I knew he was an up-and-coming guy. And then Ricky Steamboat, I mean, I'd never seen Ricky Steamboat in person before. And, you know, it was one of those things like, well, I'll never see Ricky Steamboat wrestle. I'll never see Ricky Steamboat wrestle. I'd given up that, you know, I think when I was like maybe 17 or 18 years old, I thought to myself, you know, Hulk Hogan was one. I thought I'll never see Hulk Hogan wrestle. As a kid, I never saw him wrestle live. Of course, I saw him on television. And Ricky Steamboat, I said, you know, I'll never see Ricky Steamboat. And oh well, on to the next thought. And then we were at South Shore Music Circus like 2010 or something, 2009. I think it was 2009. And it was like, holy shit, Ricky Steamboat is here wrestling. This is crazy. I think Christian had just come back and he became the ECW champion at the time. That big belt when it was like different. I don't know, it was kind of cool belt, but it was an all right show. I think the worst match of the night there was like Khali. It was Great Khali and KANE and like somebody else in a 6-man tag. That was terrible. But most of the other stuff was good. And it was cool that Drew Galloway remembered that. Because I did. Yeah, I remember talking about him. I remember thinking he needed new tights. I remember being like, oh, his tights need to be new. And if you go watch Drew Galloway's tights, like his first few weeks in the WWE, or few months maybe, you'll be like, yeah, I don't know what it was. I just like, you got to get him a better look there. But anyway, cool stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. More videos to come. We'll be live tomorrow night for Monetize This, raising some hell tomorrow night. So I hope you're on the show, drinking, hanging out, partying, calling, donating, whatever you want to do. It'll be a good time. And we'll see you tomorrow night for Monetize This and whatever other videos I decide to do. Good night. Oh, watch these other videos because I need to keep you on my YouTube page. We got to get paid, bro. Later.